Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt just a little slower? Maybe your legs felt stiff, or your knees didn't quite want to cooperate. Now imagine this. What if that small struggle was actually the first sign of something much bigger, something that could determine how long you live and how well you live? Hi, my friend. Today, I want to open with a truth that most people don't realize until it's too late. After more than a decade working with older adults, I can tell you with certainty, your legs are the first part of your body to weaken as you age. Not your arms, not your back, your legs. And when they go, everything else follows. Sound dramatic? It should, because it's true. Let me tell you about Helen, a woman in her early 70s. She once told me, "I knew something was wrong when I stopped dancing." She wasn't injured. She hadn't fallen. But her legs just didn't have the strength anymore. She would sit and watch others move while she stayed frozen in place, frustrated, embarrassed, and afraid. Her doctor told her it was just aging, as if that explained everything. But here's what no one told her. Leg weakness isn't just about feeling tired. It's one of the strongest predictors of falls, fractures, loss of independence, and even early mortality in seniors. And that's why today's video isn't just another health video. It's a wake-up call. If you've ever grabbed the railing when going downstairs, chosen the elevator instead of one small flight, or paused before standing up from a low chair, what I'm about to share could change the way you move, live, and age. In this video, I'm going to show you the surprising science behind why your legs weaken first, what that means for your balance, bones, and future, and most importantly, 3 powerful, simple foods that can help you rebuild strength naturally. And trust me, you'll want to stay with me until the end. Because the third food I'll share is a total game changer. Not only does it help rebuild muscle, it also supports your brain, heart, and circulation. In fact, it might already be in your kitchen, but you're not using it the right way. Before we dive in, I want to ask you a quick favor. If you care about staying active, independent, and strong as you age, please hit the like button. It helps more people find this message. And if you're not already subscribed, now's the time to do that too, so you never miss our future videos on senior health and wellness. Later in this video, I'll also ask you to comment once we reach the most powerful point, so be ready to jump in. The truth is, many people notice their legs getting weaker, but they brush it off. It's just age, they say. But they don't realize that this is how it starts, the slow decline. First, stairs get harder. Then you avoid walking long distances. Then, one day, a simple misstep becomes a dangerous fall. But here's the good news. This doesn't have to be your future. Leg strength can be preserved and even rebuilt at any age. And it starts with knowledge, action, and the right kind of fuel. You see, your legs aren't just muscles, they're your foundation. They carry you through life. Every step, every movement, every moment with your family, every walk in the park, every dance at a wedding, it all depends on your legs. That's why it's so important to understand what's happening in your body before it's too late. So now you might be wondering, why the legs? Why do they fade first, sometimes even before your memory, your vision, or your energy? That's exactly what we're about to explore. Because once you understand the biology behind leg decline, you'll know exactly what to do to reverse it, maintain your independence, and keep your body moving with strength and grace for years to come. Let's dig into the science, the truth, and the solution starting right now. Why do your legs fade first? Have you ever wondered why walking up the stairs feels harder lately, even though you haven't changed your routine? Why standing from a low chair takes a second longer, or why you find yourself searching for something to hold on to when getting out of bed? It's not just in your head, and it's certainly not just aging. There's a real biological reason your legs are the first to show signs of weakness, and understanding this could be the turning point for your health and independence. Let me explain something I've observed countless times in my 10+ years working with older adults. The legs are the first part of the body to weaken, not because they're faulty, but because they carry the greatest burden. Every step you take, every time you sit down or stand up, every moment you move, your legs are working for you. Unlike your arms or even your back, the muscles in your legs are massive energy users. And when they don't get what they need, whether it's nutrients, movement, or recovery, they begin to break down faster than any other group. The medical term for this gradual decline is sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. You might have heard of it in passing, but here's the shocking truth. After age 40, you lose about 1% of muscle mass every year, and after age 60, the rate can double or even triple if you're not actively maintaining your strength. The legs, being the largest muscle groups in the body, your quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, glutes are affected first and most dramatically. Think of your leg muscles like a savings account. When you're young and active, you're constantly making deposits. Every walk, every climb, every stretch adds to your balance. But as the years pass and activity slows, the body starts making withdrawals. The problem is, most people don't notice the withdrawals until the account is dangerously low. And what happens when the legs get weak? Balance suffers. Everyday tasks like carrying groceries, climbing stairs, or even walking become more effortful. And worst of all, the risk of falls skyrockets. According to the CDC, falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in adults over 65. And do you know the #1 predictor of fall risk? Lower body weakness. Not eyesight. Not dizziness. It's leg strength. Now, let me take you inside a memory that stuck with me for years. A patient of mine, David, 68, was an avid hiker in his younger days. But over time, he stopped moving as much. First it was winter. Then came knee stiffness. Eventually, he said, I just don't feel steady anymore. What started as small hesitations became full-blown fear. He avoided stairs, stayed indoors, and began losing confidence in his own body. By the time he came to see me, his balance had declined, his energy levels were low, and the muscles in his legs had weakened so much that even a short walk left him winded. But here's the hopeful part. With the right nutrition, targeted movement, and support, we helped him rebuild. Not back to hiking the Alps, but back to walking his dog every morning with a smile. That's why it's so important to pay attention to your legs now, not later. Because when your legs fade, your independence fades with them. But when you support your legs, you support everything. Your heart, your brain, your circulation, and your ability to keep living the life you love. So how do we stop this decline? The answer isn't complicated. It starts with fueling your muscles with the right nutrients and moving your body with intention. You don't need intense workouts. You don't need a gym membership. You just need the right habits, the right mindset, and the right foods. And that's what we're going to explore in the next section. In just a moment, I'll introduce you to 3 powerful foods, simple, everyday ingredients that can protect your legs from sarcopenia, improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and keep your body strong from the ground up. These foods aren't exotic or expensive. In fact, one of them might already be on your plate, but after today, you'll never look at it the same way again. So if you're ready to rebuild your foundation from the legs up, stay with me. Because the first food I'm about to share is a complete powerhouse for muscle recovery, and I'll explain exactly why it works so well, backed by both science and years of real-life results. Let's keep going. What if I told you that just 6 months ago, a man in his early 70s couldn't walk down his own driveway without holding on to his mailbox for support, and now he takes morning walks with his granddaughter and even leads her in backyard stretches? Let me introduce you to Jack, a retired school principal, age 73. When I first met him, Jack wasn't the kind of man who complained. But something in his voice told me he was frustrated. I used to be the guy who chased kids down the hallway, he said, half laughing. Now, I get winded just standing up too fast. He wasn't exaggerating. Over the past year, Jack had noticed subtle, but scary changes. He was holding on to walls more often. He avoided stairs. And the moment that really shook him, he nearly fell while stepping off a curb after walking his dog. My legs just didn't respond, he told me. I felt like they betrayed me. Jack had never been seriously ill. He didn't have any major diagnoses. And yet, like so many older adults, he was quietly facing one of the most overlooked threats to independence, leg muscle deterioration. He told me, I thought I was just getting older. I didn't realize I was also getting weaker. That moment was our turning point. Together, we looked at his routine, what he was eating, how often he was moving, how much he was hydrating, and more importantly, what he wasn't doing. And that's where it became clear. He wasn't fueling his muscles with what they needed to stay strong. Over the next few months, we worked side by side. I didn't give him a strict diet or make him join a gym. We started with small, strategic changes, foods that support muscle strength, short walks that didn't exhaust him, stretches to restore flexibility, and most importantly, consistency. The first 3 weeks were hard. He said his legs ached in ways they never had before, not from overuse, but from being reawakened. But then came the breakthrough. I stood up from my recliner without using my hands, he told me on our 4th check-in. That hasn't happened in over a year. From that moment on, Jack's confidence began to rebuild alongside his strength. He added more protein to his meals, stayed hydrated, and even began cooking with his wife again. something he had stopped doing because it tired him out just standing. The last time I saw Jack in person, he smiled, pulled a folded piece of paper out of his pocket, and said, "This is my walking schedule. Monday through Saturday. I take Sunday off to dance with my granddaughter." That hit me hard, in the best way, because this wasn't just about walking. It was about reclaiming freedom. It was about Jack getting his life and his identity back. And here's the truth. Jack's story isn't rare. In fact, I've seen dozens like his. The decline in leg strength often begins so quietly that people don't notice until they've lost far more than muscle. They've lost their sense of independence, movement, and joy. But stories like Jack's remind us that it's never too late to come back stronger. Not with extreme programs, not with miracle cures, but with small, daily choices that compound over time. So if you've been feeling less steady, if your knees wobble when you stand, or if you've stopped doing something you love because your legs can't keep up, let Jack's story be your reminder. You can turn this around. And you don't have to wait years or invest thousands. You can start by simply changing what's on your plate. Because believe it or not, one of the most powerful ways to support your legs starts in your kitchen. And that's exactly where we're headed next. Let me show you the first food that helped Jack rebuild his strength from the ground up. One that's loaded with anti-inflammatory fats, protein, and nutrients your muscles crave. Let's dive into food 1. Fatty fish, the muscle builder. Fatty fish, the muscle builder. If your muscles could talk, they'd probably beg you for this one food, because what it delivers in strength, stamina, and recovery is unmatched. And the best part? It's delicious, versatile, and probably already in your kitchen. We're talking about fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, and tuna, the ultimate fuel for aging legs. Now, why is fatty fish such a powerhouse? Let me take you behind the science. As we age, one of the most damaging forces acting on our muscles and joints is something called chronic inflammation. It's sneaky. You can't always see it or feel it, but it chips away at your strength, slows your recovery, and leaves your joints stiff and sore. This is where fatty fish shine. They're loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, natural compounds that fight inflammation at the cellular level, reducing pain, improving flexibility, and protecting your muscles from further breakdown. But that's only the beginning. Fatty fish are also packed with high-quality protein, which your body uses to rebuild muscle fibers that are lost through everyday movement, or simply through the natural process of aging. Think of protein as the bricks and omega-3 as the mortar that helps those bricks stay strong, flexible, and resilient. Every time you eat a serving of salmon or tuna, you're not just eating, you're repairing, rebuilding, and reinforcing the very muscles that keep you standing, walking, and living freely. And let's not forget about vitamin D, a critical nutrient found in many fatty fish. Vitamin D doesn't just help with mood and immunity. It helps your body absorb calcium, which is essential for keeping your bones strong. Strong bones and strong muscles go hand in hand, especially when it comes to preventing falls and fractures. Let me share a real-life example. One of my patients, Linda, age 67, had stopped walking outdoors because her knees felt unstable and her legs tired too quickly. After reviewing her diet, I noticed she wasn't getting nearly enough anti-inflammatory nutrients, especially omega-3s. So, we made one simple change. She added salmon to her dinner twice a week and replaced her afternoon snack with a small tuna salad on whole grain toast. Within just 4 weeks, Linda reported not only less joint stiffness, but also more energy and a sense of stability when walking. She now enjoys 30-minute walks every morning and hasn't missed a day since. You might be wondering, do I have to cook fresh fish every day? Not at all. That's one of the great things about fatty fish. They're accessible and flexible. Canned salmon and tuna are excellent choices, affordable and shelf-stable. Grilled salmon with lemon and herbs, tuna salad sandwiches, or even sardines on whole grain crackers can make powerful, no-fuss meals for your legs. And the science backs it up. In a large study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults who consumed omega-3 rich fish at least twice a week experienced up to 20% slower muscle loss compared to those who didn't. That's a massive difference when it comes to preserving independence. Let's simplify this. Omega-3s reduce joint pain and inflammation. Protein repairs and preserves muscle. Vitamin D strengthens bones and supports balance. That's a triple win for your legs and your future. So here's what I encourage you to do. Start with 2 servings of fatty fish per week. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be consistent. Your muscles will thank you. Your joints will move easier. And your walks will start to feel a little lighter, a little longer, and a lot more enjoyable. Now, what happens when your muscles are strong, but your bones aren't able to support them? That's when the whole system begins to falter. Which brings us to the next critical ingredient in the journey towards strong, steady legs: dairy. Not only is it one of the most effective sources of calcium and protein, but when used the right way, it can make all the difference in maintaining balance, stability, and bone density. Let's explore why dairy products are your next best ally in the battle for leg strength and longevity. Dairy products, the strength keeper. Imagine this. Your muscles are getting stronger from all the right exercises and nutrients, but the very bones supporting those muscles are growing thinner, more fragile, and quietly putting you at risk. What's the point of building muscle if the foundation beneath it is crumbling? This is where dairy comes in, and why it's not just a food group, but a vital strength keeper as we age. Here's the truth. Even if you're doing everything else right, if your bones aren't strong, your body won't be able to support you. Weak bones can make everyday movements risky and painful. One wrong step, one slip in the kitchen, and it could mean weeks or months of recovery. And for older adults, a fracture doesn't just break bone. It breaks confidence, independence, and in many cases, quality of life. Now the good news is, this is preventable, and the solution might already be in your fridge. Dairy products like milk, yogurt, and cheese are among the richest sources of calcium, a mineral that plays a starring role in maintaining bone density. But calcium doesn't act alone. It needs a partner, protein, and this is where dairy really shines, because it gives you both in one convenient, delicious package. Let's break it down. Calcium is the building block of bones, helping them stay thick, strong, and resilient. But your body doesn't produce it on its own. It needs to come from your diet, and if you're not getting enough, your body will start pulling it from your bones like a backup supply. And that's where things get dangerous. Now add protein to the mix, essential not just for muscle repair, but for the strength and elasticity of the bones themselves. What many people don't realize is that bones are living tissues, constantly remodeling, constantly renewing. Protein helps support this process, ensuring that bones stay flexible, not brittle. Let me share a story. A client of mine, Rosa, age 70, was always active in her community. She volunteered at the library, played with her grandkids, and loved dancing on weekends. But after a small slip in the bathroom, she fractured her hip, and everything changed. What shocked her most wasn't just the pain. It was the realization that she hadn't been eating enough calcium or protein for years. We rebuilt her strength from the inside out. She began having a cup of milk with breakfast, added Greek yogurt with fruit in the afternoon, and enjoyed small portions of cheese with dinner. Slowly, steadily, her energy returned, her bones strengthened, and more importantly, her confidence came back. She now walks without fear and dances again every Friday night. And the science backs this up. Studies show that older adults who consume adequate calcium and protein from dairy have higher bone density, better muscle retention, and a lower risk of falls and fractures. One serving of Greek yogurt can give you 20 grams of protein and a substantial dose of calcium in just one cup. That's a powerhouse combination for your bones and your legs. Now, you might ask, what if I'm lactose intolerant? No problem. There are lactose-free milk options, and many plant-based milks are fortified with calcium and vitamin D. Even cottage cheese, kefir, and hard cheeses like Parmesan can be easier to digest and still deliver the nutrients your bones need. Here's what I recommend. Start small. A glass of milk in the morning. A cup of yogurt in the afternoon. A sprinkle of cheese on your salad or steamed vegetables. These small additions can have a big impact over time. The key is consistency. So now you've got the muscle-building power of fatty fish and the bone-protecting benefits of dairy working together. Your legs are stronger. Your frame is steadier. You're building something powerful from the inside out. But there's one more piece of the puzzle, and this one often gets overlooked. Because even if your muscles are strong and your bones are solid, if your circulation is poor or you suffer from frequent cramps, you'll still feel weak, off balance, and easily fatigued. That's where the next group of foods comes in, and they're often sitting quietly in your produce drawer. Underestimated but incredibly potent. Let's talk about leafy greens, your natural defense against cramps, inflammation, and muscle fatigue. Leafy greens, the leg saver. What if the secret to fewer leg cramps, better balance, and stronger steps wasn't found in a bottle of supplements, but in a bowl of greens? Yes, the very vegetables many people overlook on their plate could actually be your leg's best line of defense. I call leafy greens the leg saver for a reason, and once you understand how they work inside your body, you'll never see spinach or kale the same way again. Many older adults live with quiet struggles, tightness in the calves, nighttime cramps that interrupt sleep, or that heavy leg feeling during a short walk. In my years of practice, I've found that one of the most common missing links in these cases is a lack of key minerals, specifically the ones that leafy greens naturally deliver in abundance. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard, arugula, and collard greens are rich in magnesium, potassium, calcium, and vitamin K for nutrients that work together like a support team for your muscles, bones, and blood vessels. Magnesium is essential for muscle relaxation. Without enough, your muscles stay tense, increasing the chance of spasms and cramps. Potassium helps balance your body's electrolytes, reducing fatigue and improving blood flow. Calcium isn't just for bones, it also plays a vital role in how muscles contract. And vitamin K? It helps bind calcium to the bones, preventing it from floating uselessly in your bloodstream and ensuring your bones stay dense and fracture-resistant. One of my patients, George, age 75, used to wake up every night with sharp cramps in his legs. He walked regularly, stayed hydrated, and even took supplements, but nothing seemed to help until we added leafy greens to his daily meals. Within 2 weeks, the cramps nearly disappeared. That's the power of real food. It nourishes your body in ways pills simply can't. And the best part is that leafy greens are versatile and easy to include, even if you're not a salad person. You can blend spinach into your morning smoothie, sauté kale with garlic and olive oil for dinner, or toss arugula onto your eggs or sandwiches for a fresh peppery crunch. Even just one serving a day can make a real difference in how your legs feel, lighter, stronger, and more energized. And this isn't just anecdotal. A study in the Journal of Nutrition found that people who consumed leafy greens regularly were up to 30% less likely to experience muscle weakness and mobility decline as they aged. That's a powerful statistic from something as simple as a handful of greens. I always tell my patients, don't wait until your legs give you a warning sign. Start feeding them now. Because when you support your legs with the right nutrients, especially those that promote blood flow, prevent inflammation, and protect your bones, you're not just avoiding problems. You're building a future of confident movement. So far in this journey, you've learned how to rebuild muscle with fatty fish, protect bone strength with dairy, and now enhance muscle function and circulation with leafy greens. Together, these foods form a powerful trio to keep your legs strong from the inside out. But food alone isn't enough. What truly unlocks the benefits of everything you've learned so far are the daily habits that activate and amplify those nutrients, movement, hydration, and rest. Because strong legs aren't just built in the kitchen, they're maintained through the choices you make each day. And that's exactly what we're diving into next. The simple but powerful daily habits that turn nutrition into real-life strength, mobility, and freedom. Simple daily habits to keep your legs strong. What if I told you that the foods you eat are only part of the equation, and that the real secret to strong, steady legs lies in what you do between meals? That's right. The movements you make, the way you hydrate, and how you rest at night are just as important, sometimes even more, than what's on your plate. You've already learned how fatty fish, dairy, and leafy greens work like internal medicine for your legs. But even the best nutrients need a support system. Think of it like this. Nutrition is the fuel, but habits are the engine. Without the engine running, the fuel can't take you anywhere. So, let's talk about the daily choices that make all the difference, the ones that turn knowledge into transformation and small steps into lasting strength. Let's start with the most powerful and underestimated habit of all, movement. You don't need a fancy gym or long workouts. In fact, the best kind of movement for your legs is the kind you can do consistently and with joy. Walking, for example, is one of the most effective ways to maintain leg strength, improve circulation, and support joint mobility. Just 20 to 30 minutes a day, broken up into short walks if needed, can help keep your muscles active, your joints lubricated, and your bones stimulated. One of my clients, Alan, age 72, used to say, "I hate the treadmill." So we tossed it out. Instead, he started walking to the mailbox twice a day, then around the block. Within 2 months, he was walking a mile daily and loving it. Why? Because it didn't feel like exercise. It felt like freedom. And that's the goal, not perfection, but momentum. Whether it's gardening, dancing in your kitchen, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator, every step counts. Next, let's talk about hydration, something most people don't connect directly to leg strength, but should. Muscles are made of over 70% water. When you're even mildly dehydrated, your muscle fibers lose elasticity, become more prone to cramps, and fatigue faster. That's why staying hydrated isn't just about avoiding thirst, it's about protecting your mobility. Aim for 8 to 10 cups of water daily, and more if you're active or live in a hot climate. Start your day with a full glass of water before coffee or tea. It wakes up your muscles and jumpstarts your metabolism. Add slices of lemon, cucumber, or a few mint leaves if plain water isn't appealing. And don't forget that water-rich foods, like watermelon, oranges, and cucumbers, also count toward your intake. Now, onto a habit that often goes unnoticed: sleep. Sleep is when your body heals. It's when your muscles repair, your nervous system resets, and your energy is replenished. If you're getting less than 7 hours of restful sleep each night, your legs will feel it. Weakness, soreness, slow recovery, it's all connected. Establish a calming bedtime routine. Turn off screens an hour before sleep, sip on herbal tea, read, or do light stretches to relax your body. And don't underestimate the power of a supportive mattress and pillows. Your legs need proper alignment while you rest. Lastly, let's not forget the habit of listening to your body. One of the most dangerous habits is ignoring small signs: fatigue after walking a block, needing to hold onto furniture for balance, or occasional cramps. These are your body's way of whispering, "I need help." Don't wait until those whispers become a scream. Instead, respond early. Add movement gently. Stretch in the morning. Eat intentionally. Hydrate daily. Sleep deeply. These aren't dramatic lifestyle overhauls. They're small, repeatable, life-giving decisions that compound over time. And the best part? You don't have to do this alone. Share your goals with a friend. Invite someone on a walk. Keep a journal of your progress. Each good habit becomes easier when it's connected to joy, support, and purpose. So now you know, your legs aren't just shaped by what you eat, but by how you live. Combine powerful foods with powerful habits, and you create a foundation of strength that can carry you through your 60s, 70s, and beyond with confidence. But before we close, there's one more thing I want to leave you with. You've taken in a lot: knowledge, strategies, and stories. But all of it means nothing unless you take that first step. So as we wrap up this video, let's turn everything you've learned into a vision for your future. A future where your legs are not a limitation, but a launch pad. Let's move into that final message together. So here we are, at the end of this journey, but hopefully just the beginning of something much more important: your return to strength, stability, and confidence. We've walked together through the science of why your legs weaken first. We've seen how sarcopenia can slowly chip away at your independence if left unaddressed. But we've also seen hope, through real stories of people just like you, who turned things around with simple, consistent choices. You've discovered how fatty fish rebuild muscle, how dairy protects your bones, and how leafy greens nourish your circulation and reduce cramps. We didn't talk about miracle pills. We didn't rely on overnight transformations. Instead, we focused on real food, real movement, and real habits that anyone can start today, no matter your age, your schedule, or your starting point. And maybe that's the most powerful message of all. Backhand index pointing right: you don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin. What matters now is not everything you've learned, but what you do next. So let me ask you, what will be your first step? Will you add salmon to your dinner this week? Will you stretch for 5 minutes each morning? Will you choose leafy greens over processed snacks just once a day? Maybe you've already started making changes, and if so, I want to celebrate you. But if you haven't, that's okay too. There is no behind here. You're exactly where you need to be to begin. Because strong legs aren't just about muscle, they're about momentum. And once you take that first step, the next one becomes easier. And the one after that, easier still. As someone who has worked with older adults for over a decade, I can tell you, the difference between those who stay independent and those who don't often comes down to one thing: consistency in small habits. And those habits start right now, with the choices you make today. Before you go, I want to invite you to do 3 simple things that help this message reach more people. Like this video if it gave you something valuable, an insight, an idea, or even just a little bit of hope. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future tips, guidance, or real stories that can help you stay strong, mobile, and in control of your health? Leave a comment below and tell me. What's one thing you're going to do for your leg strength starting today? Or what was the biggest takeaway you got from this video? Your words matter, not just to me, but to the entire community of viewers who come here looking for answers and encouragement. Your experience might just be the nudge someone else needs to take their first step too. And finally, remember this. Your legs carry more than your body. They carry your story. They carry you to moments with loved ones, to travel you haven't taken yet, to dances you still want to enjoy, and to memories you haven't made. Taking care of them is not just a physical investment. It's an emotional one too. You deserve to move freely. You deserve to feel stable and secure. You deserve to live a life full of strength, not just in your legs, but in your mindset, your choices, and your spirit. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. Until next time, stay strong, stay steady, and always keep moving forward. You've got this.